So Canelo Alvarez is still in the news. He's still in the news, but not necessarily anything particularly good. For Canelo Alvarez, after his more recent performances, fans assume that he's on the decline. Bob Arum came out and said that his hobby is hurting his game. Canelo Alvarez came out and said that the reason why he put up a bad performance against Triple G is because he hurt his hand. So he got tired because he hurt his hand. Somebody make that make sense. But Canelo Alvarez seems to be on the spotlight. The pay-per-view numbers from Dan Rayfield, the numbers guy, right, said that the pay-per-views was anywhere from 550,000 to 575,000. Eddie Hearn comes out, rebuts it, and says that it did 1.6 million worldwide. Steven Espinoza comes out and, so a lot of these guys been going at Eddie Hearn, Canelo Alvarez. Then, of course, Leonard Ellaby said ain't no sunshine at this zone, right? There's been a lot of things going on back and forth between these entities. Canelo Alvarez, Eddie Hearn, PBC, Showtime, Leonard Ellaby, Steven Espinoza, right? The Showtime exec be on Twitter talking shit, right? But Canelo Alvarez, something I mentioned, maybe on the live stream a while back, I'm sure you guys probably heard me mention it. Canelo Alvarez be playing golf quite a bit. And when we scroll through his IG, which we probably was on a stream when we did it, I'm about to mention, I know I did, right? He be playing golf quite a bit. Is that what's hurting his game, his boxing? Is that what's affecting Canelo? It could be many things. And the reason why Canelo Alvarez seems to be fading at 32 years old. But whatever the case may be, guys like Gilberto Ramirez came out and said that Triple G was scared against Canelo Alvarez, right? David Benavidez been really lobbying for a fight with Canelo Alvarez. Of course, Canelo Alvarez has been pretty dismissive of the fight, but I think if fans put the pressure on him, I think something could possibly happen. What's next for Canelo Alvarez? John Ryder, Dimitri Bivol. Dimitri Bivol, of course, has to get past the task of Gilberto Ramirez, Cerudo. John Ryder, who knows, at this point, he could possibly give Canelo Alvarez problems. One may say he would be the fresher fighter going in. So what's next for Canelo? He's been on a lot of criticism. He went from the golden boy of boxing, the star. He's still making big money. But now things are starting to look a little different. Maybe Canelo needs a new trainer. Maybe he needs to try something new. Very repetitive in fights. Very repetitive. I think a guy with a high IQ and some fast feet could give him a lot of issues. Canelo fans don't want to hear this shit, but this is the reality. This is red pill boxing. This is the reality. Canelo Alvarez, if he was in there with a guy with a high IQ with some foot speed, he'll be in a lot of trouble. If he was in there with a guy like David Benavidez, I see him being in a lot of trouble. Only way David Benavidez gets that fight if WBC forces it to happen. However, Canelo Alvarez will simply probably vacate that belt. And if he does that, he'll be even under more criticism. So Canelo is under a lot of pressure, and Canelo is going to have to make the right moves from here on out. I don't think fans are going to be really accepted of him fighting a John Ryder. We've been seeing you fight these guys for quite some time now. How about you come back home over here on this side of the world and fight some guys that's over here? 550,000 pay-per-view buys is what they say. 550, 575. That's pretty bad for Canelo Alvarez and Triple G. But this is a fight that fans really didn't want to see. It was long overdue. 4 years overdue. And it should have happened. It should have happened years ago, back when Triple G still had some prime left. But now Canelo Alvarez comes out and says that the reason why he got tired is because he hurt his hand. And there's a lot of fighters always come out with excuses as to why they lost. And this is why I'll never knock him neither. You never hear Bushido knock him. Now, I don't knock these guys for that. But I do pay attention to what the fans and everybody else says. They say, oh, you coming up with excuses. They only nitpick on that when it comes to one certain type of fighter. But Bushido calls it out on all the fighters that be coming up with excuses. But it's not a big deal for me. It is what it is. But I think it's a really bad one. Some guys come out with some pretty valid excuses. Others come out with some pretty bad ones. This is a pretty bad one. How did you get tired? Your cardio should have been on point. If anything, if you had a hurt hand, you should have made sure you was in really top-notch shape if you wasn't able to really use your right hand. But then again, there's videos of him throwing that right hand like it was all nothing. And Triple G just ate it. Old Golovkin. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.